residents of Miami-Dade, getting your COVID-19 vaccination is an important part. Help everyone stay safe as we continue to fight the spread. And we can protect those most vulnerable around us. With easy access to vaccination locations and the growing ability for more people to be protected, it's our best shot to keep moving forward. It's our best shot for a strong, healthy community. For more information, visit miamidade.gov/vaccine.
Good morning. It's Tuesday and it's 11 a.m., which means it's time for the FIU Music Hour on WDNA 88.9 FM, where we present live weekly performances in the WDNA Jazz Gallery and feature students, faculty, and alumni from Florida International University's Herbert and Nicole Wertheim School of Music and Performing Arts. I'm your host today and FIU faculty, Dr. Russ Spiegel, and along with our executive producer, Dr. Karen Velas, we'd like to welcome you to our show. Whether you're listening to us at home, in your car, or live on WDNA.org/FIU, we are delighted to have you with us. Today, we are pleased to feature the FIU Latin Jazz Ensemble under the direction of Professor Mike Eckroth, and featuring FIU School of Music students Ivan Lucia, Justin Dixon on trumpet, Isaac Nyman on tenor sax, Siboney Godoy Torres on violin. We also have Tariq Baker on piano and keys, Miguel Spiteri, I hope I said that right. Okay, I got the thumbs up, on electric bass. And we have Angel Vargas, Napat Tensuren, Enrique Puli, Martin Iturralde, and Rudy Infante on percussion. The FIU Latin Jazz Ensemble presents various styles of the genre, primarily focusing on compositions based on Afro-Cuban rhythms, and also by major composers in the idiom. And we're going to hear, the first piece is Gemini by Yusef Lateef. Fantastic. Yeah, come on through. All right, come on through that way. That's fine. Yeah, that'll work too. So I am sitting here with Professor Mike Eckroth.
Hello.
Good morning. And
Is on.
the microphone is on, hopefully. We're hoping. In any case, this is a very large ensemble we have with us today.
Pretty large.
Yeah, I counted, what we got? 1, 2, 3, 4 percussionists. Am I right with that? 4 percussionists. We have 2 trumpets, tenor saxophone, violin, keys, and piano, bass. I think I got everybody there. Anyway, so how does this work in Latin jazz?
Okay, well, we have to orchestrate it for the group that we have. So anytime you have a different instrumentation, you have to work things out.
Right.
For instance, last year we had 1 trumpet, now we have 2, and we have a little bit more of a horn section thing going on with the 3 horns and the violin. So sometimes we're combining the 4 of them as a section, which you're going to see. And sometimes they pair. 2 will do one thing and 2 will do another thing, stuff like that. So I'm writing for we're arranging it for the front line as kind of a horn section.
Right, and we
adding
have
violin to the horns. Yeah.
and we have various percussion instruments as well.
Correct. Yeah, so we have drum set, and we have the congas, the timbales, all the traditional Latin percussion instruments, and added drum set. So that's kind of part of the part and parcel of this the style of music. You can do it without drum set, or you can add drum set. And one of the things we've been checking out is that the drum set doesn't behave like a drummer in this kind of music. He's an auxiliary person that fills in a certain way.
Excellent.
So it's not like a regular jazz drum set situation where it's just you and you're doing everything. You have to fit into what the other guys have, and they have very specific parts. The timbales has a specific thing. The congas have a specific thing. They have their roles, and the drum set has to kind of slide into that.
Right, and you also have the percussionists also trading places so that they get more experience.
Yes, yeah. Angel has had some Latin. He's played Latin percussion instruments in the past. But there's another guy who's had a flat tire, and he's on his way here. But the other four guys are new to Latin percussion, so they're getting all this stuff starting this fall. They're learning how those instruments work and the roles in this kind of music. So it's been really cool watching everybody grow and figure out how to do this, because it's very different than playing jazz drum set, I'm sure.
Or any other style of
Any
music.
other style of drum set. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and these are all undergraduate students, is that correct?
Nope. We have a couple graduates.
Excellent.
Angel's a graduate. And Martin is a graduate, but he's not. He'll be here soon. He'll be here soon. Everybody else is undergraduate.
Okay, fantastic. How often can a student take this course?
You can take it as many times as you need an ensemble.
Right.
So that's why we have so many people compared to a combo. The other large ensemble we have is a jazz big band, which has a ton of horns and a traditional rhythm section. But every time you need an ensemble, you can sign up for an ensemble. So you could do this 8 times if you wanted to.
Right. Is there any audition for this?
There is no. At the beginning of the semester, we kind of decide who's going to be in the ensembles. It's part of your audition, but the ensembles are decided by the faculty.
Okay. Very good.
That's how we decide who's doing what. But this is a recurring group, and we're going to be back with mainly the same people next semester, I'm sure.
Right, and the Latin jazz repertoire is immense, and
it's impossible to quantify it, actually. Yeah, you're right.
So you have plenty of material. So are you for each ensemble that you have, since they're all slightly different in how they're constructed, do you look for different pieces that help in that case?
Yeah. I mean, we're trying to play to the strengths of our group. We're trying to play to what is going to sound best, and then we're trying to get everybody into as much different kinds of material as possible. These guys don't even know what I have in store for next semester because we're going to go. We've been kind of in this descarga Cuban jazz situation for about a year. And I have 3 repeat people from last year, Miguel and Siboney and
Ivan?
Yeah, exactly. Those are repeats from last year.
Right.
And then everyone else is new. So we haven't repeated any of the music from last year, so we keep going with new stuff. And as you said, it goes on forever. So there's multiple nationalities of local jazz music that we can explore. So It keeps going.
And I'll probably ask you this every time you come, because there's always something else to bring about or to talk about this. But what would be some really important aspects of Latin jazz that you've been working with this ensemble?
Right. Well, I think the main thing is the rhythm and the groove, which you could see displayed on those last 2 songs. We had a kind of a Cuban jazz son kind of beat, and then we had a 6/8, an Afro-Cuban 6/8. We adapted that Yusef Lateef song into 6/8. So I think the rhythm and the groove is actually the biggest element of the music. Without that, I mean, everything is kind of piggybacked onto that. So the kinds of melodies that you can play, the kinds of chords you can play, they fit into the groove. They help support the groove. So that's what we're really first focusing on, is how we play the groove. Like what kind of beat is this? What do I do? What's my role here?
So, for example, the next piece we're going to hear is Tintindeo by Dizzy Gillespie,
Correct.
And I think this came out of the Chano Pozo repertoire.
It did. That's from what I understand, that's a co-composition by those 2 people. So Chano was, he's revered for being the first Afro-Cuban percussionist to really show up on record with a jazz band. That's in the late 1940s. So Dizzy, I always try to program something by Dizzy, because he's kind of like the forefather of this fusion of music, because we're really seeing a fusion here it wasn't the first person to ever combine Latin American rhythms with jazz, but he was the first person to do it in that particular way with modern jazz and Latin, kind of, the congas and Latin percussion. So yeah, I always try to include something by Dizzy. So Tintindeo is actually less common rhythm, known as Afro, which people played a lot more, in the earlier period, maybe the 40s and 50s. You'd see big bands play it, right? So this is just another one of the many different rhythmic situations that we can get into while we're learning this music.
Fantastic. So the FIU Latin Jazz Ensemble, Tintindeo.
Yes, let's do it.
You're listening to the FIU Music Hour on WDNA 88.9 FM with the FIU Latin Jazz Ensemble under the direction of Professor Mike Eckroth. We'll be right back after these messages. This week, the FIU School of Music will be hosting the following concerts. On Wednesday, November 3rd at 7:30 p.m. at the Wertheim Concert Hall, the FIU Big Band, led by Professor Jim Hacker and featuring FIU guest vocalists. On Thursday, December 1st at 3:30 p.m. at the Wertheim Concert Hall, the FIU Departmental Recital, a free one-hour matinee concert. Thursday and Friday, December 1st and 2nd at 7:30 p.m. at the Wertheim Concert Hall, and Saturday, December 3rd at 7:30 p.m. at St. Patrick's Church, Handel's Messiah, FIU Concert Choir, Soloists, and Symphony Orchestra. Hallelujah! The Wertheim Concert School of Music and Performing Arts at Florida International University is bringing a glorious performance of Handel's Messiah to you and your family this holiday season. Led by Dr. Aaron Millard, the FIU Concert Choir performs this beautiful program along with soloists and the FIU Symphony Orchestra under the leadership of Maestro Javier Mendoza, culminating in the iconic Hallelujah Chorus. On Monday, December 5th at 7:30 in the FIU Recital Hall, join the FIU New Music Ensemble for an eclectic program of contemporary chamber and electronic works directed by Jason Calloway, and also our very own FIU Latin Jazz Ensemble will be making a special presentation at the Wilsonian Museum in Miami Beach on December 11th as part of the Turn the Beat Around exhibition. For these and many more exciting events, you can find information at fiu.universitytickets.com or MusicTix, and that is TIX, at fiu.edu. And now back to our show with the FIU Latin Jazz Ensemble. You've been listening to the FIU Latin Jazz Ensemble under the direction of Mike Eckroth on the FIU Music Hour on WDNA 88.9 FM. I've been your faculty host, Dr. Russ Spiegel, and along with our executive producer, Dr. Karen Velas, I'd like to thank our crew of FIU graduate students, Samantha, Josephine, V, Gabrielle, Jerry, Rudy, and Christian, WDNA's sound and tech wizard, Alex Aldrich, and the staff of WDNA 88.9 FM for today's broadcast. If you would like more information on all our programs, make sure to call 305-348-2896, or you can simply like our Facebook and or Instagram page to stay up to date with all our upcoming performances. We also welcome audience members in our studio here. And thank you again so much for joining us, and make sure to join the FIU Music Hour for more great music every Tuesday, 11 a.m. to noon. Thanks again to our guests. And Dr. Eckroth, what are we going to be hearing?
We're going to do a Enrique song, actually. Enrique song.
Fantastic.
you.